Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters podcast. With me always is Terrence, aka T-Money.
If you smell what the lion is cooking.
Today we are going to cover December 2nd's Monday Night Raw, as well as December 4th's NXT. With a little bit of WWE Backstage between the 2 days on the 3rd, but just a little bit of information. So, how was your Thanksgiving? I hope it was good. Was your Thanksgiving good?
Mine was good.
Yeah, mine was good too. I had it slept, and then I had to work my ass off. Oh my God, that was exhausting. But I got through it. It's just a night shift for us today. This is a Thursday where one of our coworkers had to take the day off because he had to go see the doctor. So he's here today. So we'll do that. Anyway. Starting off, we have a recap on the fact that Seth Rollins issued such a lot of hate for his comments trying to push Raw, but it didn't work out as he wanted, with AOP also helping him in the match against Kevin Owens. Everybody's saying it's Seth Rollins and AOP, new faction coming to be. But that would be not the case, because Seth Rollins comes out into the ring at the beginning of the show to make a apology on his behalf to the Kevin Owens, to the whole roster. And then all of a sudden we have, if I remember correctly, it says here that they crashed it, but it was first Kevin Owens who came in, started chatting it up, saying that he knows that he's lying, that AOP had a hand in it. He doesn't know why. But then AOP then shows up, and he's already thinking that he's going to get jumped. Seth Rollins is saying that he wants to tag team against him. Well, actually, no, it was the AOP who was speaking in their native tongues and then saying that they want a match with them. Seth Rollins was down if Kevin Owens was down, and Kevin Owens is like, if I'm going to get jumped, let's go. And he's like, all right, I'll do me. He's going to go. He walks between them and they let him pass by. It looked like it was going to be AOP jumping Kevin Owens, but then they backed off and they walked away. So apparently, oh man, that's what we should have covered too. Shoot, we should have covered Starrcade. I just remembered that Starrcade. It was this last weekend during Thanksgiving.
I didn't know that was this last
I know. And I can just cover a little bit. Well, it was, let's say, a couple of matches, no titles on the line. There was supposed to be a last man standing match between Rusev and Bobby Lashley, but Lana had already made a contract, or went to the, what it calls it?
She filed
restraining order. There you go. In the city, and he couldn't even get into the ring. So Kevin Owens, who had a Kevin Owens sit down with the Ric Flair, talking about the good old days when the creator, the one who thought up Starrcade, was the late great Dusty Rhodes. He's recalling some of his greatest matches, only to be interrupted. And I'm trying to remember who interrupted him.
He came. That show came with Starrcade for WCW, because that was big pay per view. Like WrestleMania is WWE's big pay per view.
Yep, that's right. The people who would interrupt them were two members of AOP, and they were saying that those were the back in the days. Let's make this night all about a recap on AOP's greatest moments. The Street Profits would come out and say, you think we can handle this? And he said, go ahead. So it'd be a match between Street Profits and OCs. I was about to say AOP. And they ended up winning the match. Next up to that, we had a match between, you know what? Let's go ahead and cover it.
You know who's not
Let's
happy.
go ahead. Go ahead and look up Starrcade
But you know
in December.
You know who's
We'll
not
be right back.
You know
who's not happy?
Oh, you know who's not happy? Cody Rhodes.
Why?
Because he said that that was his family's pay-per-views that they took. So he decided to take ones that belong that Strohs came up with an idea.
Yeah, he didn't get them.
He did.
Well, they have Starrcade. He doesn't.
Oh, he got something. He got it now.
Ooh.
He got their still old pay-per-view, Bash at the Beach.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and cover Starrcade. We'll be right back. And we got it. So in Starrcade, like I said, it started off with Kevin Owens and ended with the Street Profits going up against Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Ultimately, the Street Profits win that match. And what the hell? Damn, it's just slamming the restroom doors. It would be Ric Flair, who's happy to see them win the match, along with Kevin Owens. Later, this is what took up majority of the show, a four-way dance for the women's tag team titles on the line with the Kabuki Warriors against the first ever women's tag team, the Boss. Well, no longer. It's not Hugger. It's Sasha Banks and Bayley, along with one of the other contenders, who were the tag team champions of the women's division, is Alexa Bliss after returning from SmackDown, as well as Nikki Cross, and their new black and pink and lime green looking highlighted gear. And then finally, the fourth team would be Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch again. In this match, it just kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until finally it ended with the Asuka putting the Kimura clutch onto Nikki Cross and making her tap out. Sadly to say, nobody ended up taking the titles from them. The Kabuki Warriors, who I'm not going to lie, they may be heels, but I like them still because they're Japanese and they rock that looks that they got. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to complain to how they do their job. They're actually one of the heels I do like. And that is the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka and Kairi Sane retain their women's tag team gold. As I was saying, it would be Rusev who be not allowed anywhere near that arena once again, thanks to Bobby Lashley and Lana. So Kevin Owens said they weren't going to end that show with them just kissing face because nobody cared. And Lana was just screaming, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I will not shut up! I will!" As people... Well, actually, I think it was on Raw. Yeah, it was on Starrcade where he said, "I will keep on hashtagging talking. Keep talking." So he ended up putting himself in this match, and it was no last man standing match. It was instead just a regular match, in which case Bobby Lashley would win, but not by pinfall or submission. Instead, it would be Rusev that shows up, breaking the, what do you call it again?
Camel clutch.
No. Yeah, breaking the permit thing.
What? The Rusev?
No. Lana put in a restraining order. Yeah, he would be breaking the restraining order and just jump and super kick Bobby Lashley and just whooping his ass, throwing him all over again. And he ends up turning it into almost a last man standing match, taking him up to the freaking staircase, all around the arena, and back into the ring where he slams him.
You know what restraining order is, right?
Yeah, where you cannot be anywhere near.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it was. In which case, that's how it ended for Starrcade, with Rusev getting it up and up on Bobby Lashley and Lana. And everybody is just cheering, "Rusev Day, Rusev Day, Rusev Day." Earlier, it was Lana who said that it was no going to be Rusev Day. So, okay, go back to Monday Night Raw. Mm-hmm. And while he does that, we'll go ahead and give a shout out to our boys, the remaining members of the Heaven Monsters podcast. They are Xavier Hill, Mike Henry, Andre Mitchell. A link to their YouTube pages will be in the descriptions down below, as always. And a remaining shout out to Renee, Chris Petrie, Farrell, and Delvin. All right. So after that, this is where I was leading up to. After that fiasco, apparently Bobby Lashley still had beef with Kevin Owens, courtesy of Starrcade last Saturday. In which case, they take up the mantle of challenger because Kevin Owens wanted a fight and he wasn't going to leave until he got one. So he made an open challenge right there and then. And Lana was there just making it all about her. And he said, nobody cares about you. And she said, you shut up. Shut up. You shut up. You shut up. You shut up. It was just an argument. I like how freaking Samoa Joe said, oh, it's Thanksgiving all over again. The festivities and the arguments. I don't know about that. In the end, it would be Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley again. But it would be AOP that jumped Kevin Owens during that match. Bobby Lashley didn't do anything the whole time, just watching him beat the living crap out of him and walk away. They would then announce saying, I'm just going to take my wife, my girlfriend, my whatever, and we're going to have ourselves a night of the town. Here comes freaking Rusev again, jumping him, because once again, they put a restraining order in that city, and he's breaking the law, and he jumps him, and he's going, ha ha ha. Oh, fun fact. They had detectives with them the whole time on ringside next to Lana. And they're screaming at her, screaming at the detectives saying, what are you doing? What are we even paying you for? And one of the guys actually says, we know that you have a restraining order on Rusev, but we are a fan of Rusev. We understand, but we do things differently in this city.
They said a fan of WWE.
Yeah, they're a fan of WWE. But we do things differently in the city. Where was it? Tennessee? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, Bobby Lashley is fed up and he made the mistake of, I think he did it on purpose because he didn't look where he was going and he bumps one of those police officers, and that's laying your hands technically, even if it's just a bump on the shoulder.
They're telling Lana Russo that we wasn't hired to arrest Russo. We were hired to protect y'all.
Mm-hmm. In which case, they didn't do that either. They didn't do that either. Yeah. In which case, after Bobby Lashley bumps or shoves one of the police officers, he is then read his rights and is arrested. Lana, who says, and I quote, that it should be Rusev that you should be arresting, not him. You are not doing your jobs. And she ends up slapping that same police officer, and then she is put under arrest. They are then carried out into the police officer, and Lana is just hysterical. I hate that kind of woman. I hate that kind of woman.
The one that arrested Bobby was that bald-headed one.
Mm-hmm. And the other guy arrested her.
Because she slapped him. Mm-hmm. He was just standing there not doing nothing else.
Yeah, he arrested her on her partner's behalf. Yeah. So that for sure. And then she's just screaming, I'll sue! I'll sue! I'll sue! She's just screaming out like, shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Is that a woman?
See, I like the baby face, Lana.
Yeah, no kidding. Next up, we would have Drew McIntyre versus Akira Tozawa.
I said it was over for Akira Tozawa, just so y'all know.
Yep, it was. Ultimately, Akira Tozawa would lose the match, but that wouldn't be it. Drew McIntyre then calls out Randy Orton and says he's got beef with him and he's not going to go on to take it on Twitter. He's going to do it man-to-man, face-to-face. Randy Orton comes out and he gets the info on why he has beef on him, and it's the fact that he poked him in the eye after making comments saying that you got a problem with me just because I'm bigger than you and I'm better than you. That kind of thing. And he pokes him in the eye after slapping him in the chest. Sadly to say, we would not have a match or a prelude match to that. We would actually have the OC coming out having their beef with Randy Orton and ultimately stomping him in the ground. And Drew McIntyre wasn't going to help him because, like you said, you already had beef with him. He's not going to help somebody he has beef with. So instead, coming to his aid is people who have beef with OC, would be Ricochet, Humberto, in that order, and it would even out the numbers, but OCs have the advantage still with the momentum going. And Rey Mysterio comes out for the fourth man, but ultimately it's just 6-on-6 as Randy Orton's on the outside, and they were there to help him out, but in the back, Randy Orton says, just so we're clear, I didn't need y'all help. A match after that fiasco would be made, issuing all three members of the OC versus pretty much the luchadors, if you count the fact that Prince Puma was the alter ego in Lucha Underground of Ricochet. So we would have Humberto Carrillo, Ricochet, and the new United States champion, Rey Mysterio, going up against him in a match later that night. But before that, we would have Aleister Black going up against Tony Nese, with Buddy Murphy looking on this match since he did challenge Aleister Black. Not for nothing, Aleister Black made quick work of Tony Nese and just fade to black. Just simple as that. Buddy Murphy in the back said that he is going to prove that he is a fraud, that he is not the best, and that he is not the one who is going to fade to black, because he's going to prove that he is nothing but a normal man. Next, we have Aundrea versus Eric Young, and the match was kind of interrupted with R-Truth running and hiding where the 2019 race car winner Kyle Birch, and he helps him hide him from the freaking Raw rosters running all over the place. Can you get that for me? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, they would show that one of the guys was wearing a... Damn. I hate this. Hold up. Let me see if I can get... Okay, where are you? There you are. Make that stop. Just make it stop. It's a pain in the ass. Y'all didn't see that as far as what I was doing, but I was disconnecting this because it had a bad signal, so it kept vibrating red. That didn't help. In which case, the race car driver actually pinned R-Truth and became the new 24/7 champion.
Which means he's trying to kill his Pokemon. Which means he almost killed his Pokemon.
No, I didn't.
It's okay, Sergio.
I think Aundrea beat Eric Young, though. I don't know if the match continued after that. I think he made a pinfall. We then have Eric Rowan, and once again being addressed to what the hell was in that freaking cage. He's got a furry little creature, because he said that you got a beautiful grin, like, oh. I don't hear no growling, no nothing. I'm like, what the hell is we grinning then?
You won't hear that. You close
to a smile. In which case, he fights No Way Jose, and a bunch of the guys in his conga line are punking one of the members to find out what the hell it is. Eric Rowan takes offense to that, wrecks all of them, and ends up defeating No Way Jose with not one, but two face-hold choke slams, or face slams, and ends the match in that form of matter. Next match, we have the women's tag team champions going up against, Yeah, they are. Going up against Charlotte Flair in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Sadly to say, despite having you kind of figured, the Kabuki Warriors ended up winning the match. And it was in the favor of Kairi Sane, who tagged Asuka without Charlotte knowing. And while she had Asuka in the figure 8 lock, she goes for the insane elbow drop and gets the pin in that way. Next match is the Viking Raiders, the Raw Tag Team Champions, going against local talents. They don't even maybe mention. And they win the match. You know they do. Still waiting for them to actually defend their titles. Come on. Defend the Raw title. We want to see somebody fight. I think this is the main event. We have the OCs going up against United States Champion Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, and Humberto Carrillo. And ultimately, the match ends in the favor of the OC, thanks to AJ Styles getting the drop on, I think, Humberto. While AJ Styles is congratulating himself and he's alone in the ring, here comes the Viper himself, hitting him from behind, RKO. So, where the hell is this going, bro? We have Drew McIntyre picking a fight with Randy Orton. Randy Orton picking a fight with OC. OC picking a fight with Randy Orton. And Rey Mysterio, Ricochet, and Humberto still got beef with the OC. What the fuck is going on?
AJ Styles is mad. They're still mad about his losing the United States title, don't you?
Yeah, I know, but it's getting... At this point, I'm starting to think at TLC, we might have ourselves an interesting match for the United States title, and I wouldn't be surprised. We would have ourselves maybe, I'm just guessing, 4 to 6 men in a ladder match for the United States title on the line. This is me just putting everything in together on what the hell is going on. Because ultimately, we do have 7 guys. We got the champ himself, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Ricochet, and Humberto making 6. But we don't know if Drew McIntyre might get in that mix. He did want a title shot.
Yeah, but you won't see the OCs, Gallows and Anderson.
Oh, they can interfere in the match if it's a ladder match.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can interfere, but referee might try to send him back in the ring before the match started.
They can do that, but then they can just come out with no disqualifications on the line. They can do whatever the hell they want. So with that said, go ahead and look up NXT on December 4th. While you do that, I'll mention the info, the 3 main things that we can take from WWE Backstage. And the fact that besides Seth Rollins being there, explaining himself, this and that, it's mostly just talk. Good talk if you like hearing this kind of information. So enjoy watching the encores of WWE Backstage and Friday Night SmackDown on FS1 channel. So enjoy that. So here's the thing we can take. 1, Sheamus is coming back, and he's coming to SmackDown, and Booker T gives his take saying if he was on Raw, he would want him to fight Drew McIntyre. But since he's on SmackDown, the best person he can have is fighting somebody, I forgot who he said, but he wants him to fight to give him that good upcoming, because he sounds like he's going to be a babyface, Sheamus. I don't know. I think I would want to see the heel version of Sheamus because he's more dominant that way. He's not going to team up with Cesaro since Cesaro is currently working with Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn. So there's that. In which case, the second thing we can take is rumors were going around and saying that John Morrison, a.k.a. Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact,
Johnny Blaze.
Yep.
Johnny Nitro, John Harris.
Anybody else? What was the name of his movie?
Boom.
Johnny Boom?
No, that was his name, Boom.
Boom. Well, all that aside, rumors were going around and people were just saying that he did and not. Well, on the cast of WWE Backstage and Renee Young saying that there is no ifs, ands, or buts, we have it. That Johnny Mundo has in fact signed a contract with WWE and is looking forward to coming back only when they have a good storyline to throw in. And Booker T said it, Raw or SmackDown, meaning people might not get the opportunity to have John Morrison on NXT. May not.
Because if you know, he's supposed to be he said himself he's not interested in going to NXT.
Mm-hmm. And of course, with that said,
I don't want that because
okay, go ahead.
AJ Styles, they're just sitting AJ Styles. He said that he's not interested in going. When he first got into WWE, he said he's not interested in going to NXT. He would go either Raw or SmackDown. But
in which case, he was introduced into the Royal Rumble.
Yes,
or one up.
So you might see John Morrison in any pay-per-view. He might show up.
Yeah. I want to say this. He's good on either brand. But if he was to come to one of the Raw or SmackDown brand, I'm only saying this because him and his members of M&M, not the Candy, the main roster of when he was Joey Mercury, Melina, and Johnny Nitro. In which case, when he branched off from them and became John Morrison, he was still a competitor wrestler in SmackDown before going to WWE's version of ECW.
But do you know what show he first started though?
Where?
On Monday Night Raw.
Well, that depends. Yeah, that depends where he ends up. So whether or not it's on SmackDown or Raw, I'm hoping he goes to SmackDown because he made a name for himself with Eminem on that show. So we could see him on SmackDown. But if he goes to Raw, I'm good with that. That's
when he debuted. He debuted as Ed Bishop's personal assistant, Johnny Blaze.
I wonder if Joey Mercury's... No? Johnny Mercury's not on WWE no more because he was on Lucha Underground. So that shows he was no longer at WWE. So there's that. In which case, the last thing and the least important, isn't Batista married?
No.
Yeah.
He announced that he was single.
Yeah. And apparently he's tweeting romance. He's flirting with Dania Brooke. And it's literally back and forth between each other.
Yeah, they're not actually dating yet. They're just talking.
Yeah, they're just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you should hear the tweets. They actually were showing the tweets and the images that were posted with those tweets. I was like, okay, this sounds like they're sex texting.
Here's what they're doing. It's
like one of those sex calls. Like, hey girl,
here's what they're doing.
How you doing? What are you doing tonight? I'm just here flexing my muscles. I'm like, what the fuck?
They're trying to see where it goes.
Oh, but they did show a nice, good side of her backside when she was saying, when Batista tweeted, "I see you got those thighs. I like what I see." It says she does squats. She tweeted back like looking for a good gym, and it's his gym. Like, okay. Go ahead.
Hey, I say this is the third time he's been with a woman.
Again.
And plus, he's also a grandfather. Yep.
Okay.
It ain't first time he's been with a muscle woman, though.
So, all that considered, that's it for Backstage. If you want to see more, go ahead and watch WWE's Backstage. Check it out.
If you're interested. That's what you say.
Mm-hmm. So, here we go with the 24th of NXT. About to hit that 30-minute mark, so... which way? I'm going to try and speedrun this. First thing first, Killian Dane storms right into the match at the beginning of the show, issuing a fight. He doesn't care who. The one who picks a fight with him is none other than Pete Dunne, who has issues with him. The match ends kind of like how it did at NXT TakeOver, where Pete Dunne won the match thanks to Killian Dane dropping him, Pete Dunne on Damian Priest and ended up taking the win right there and then. Damian Priest was put in a sleeper hold on top of the turnbuckle, falls back and literally falls back on Pete and that's how he wins. It was like, damn. Deja freaking view. Keith Lee confronts the Undisputed Era between Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. And he literally looks at them and said, Kyle O'Reilly's looking at him and like, hey, my eye's up here. He's like, what are you looking at? Oh, I'm just looking at all three of these titles and thinking which one I'm going to take first. They took that they didn't like that, so they jumped him. And ultimately, Tommaso Ciampa gets in there to help him. Okay, I figured that was going to happen. My storage ran out, but the video was saved. That's good. I was worried that we were going to lose the video. Otherwise, we had to restart this, but we don't. So, as I was saying, as a recap, Keith Lee, looking at the gold, Undisputed Era, didn't like it. They jumped him. Tommaso Ciampa came in, saved him. A match would be issued between those two and their choice of partner versus those three members of the Undisputed Era. Where the hell is Bobby Fish? Is he injured? I don't know. Next up, we would have how you make the X? Kia Lee? How you pronounce it? The Chinese wrestler. Zhang Li issues a challenge on the fact that last week she was bullied by Shayna Baszler and the Four Horsewomen, and she issues a challenge to the women's champion, and she accepts, and they have a match. But one thing is said to Shayna Baszler, the champion: you can be the baddest person in the world, but everybody's got to breathe. And that's how she usually finishes her opponents, through tap, snap, sleep, or snap in the Kimura clutch. And it is no different. She makes her tap out. But then Rhea Ripley comes out, is picking a fight with her, and she ends up getting demolished by all three members of the Horsewomen. That sucks. But here's the good news. Shayna Baszler grabbed the microphone, said that she wanted to fight with her too, and in 2 weeks top, after on December 7th, that's my birthday, December 18th, after my birthday and this community day, they're going to have it on that Wednesday with the title on the line between Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley. Next up, we have a quick match between the Forgotten Sons, defeat, I guess, local talents, and just whoop their ass. Oh, that's why they jumped Shayna Baszler. It was no, they didn't jump Rhea Ripley, because it was supposed to be Dakota Kai versus Rhea Ripley, but instead there's no match at all because we thought that she had taken her out. Nope. Mia Yim is back and was introduced by Rhea Ripley. She just storms the ring and jumps to Dakota Kai and just kicks her damn ass. And while they're fighting and Rhea Ripley's just walking to the ring watching this, letting them settle their business, here comes Shayna Baszler and the assault on her. And the challenge for 2 weeks from now was made. There you go. I almost forgot about that. Next up, we have apparently a crossroads between NXT and the sister brand or sibling brand of NXT UK going head to head, where we see current superstar calling himself the British style genius, wrestling genius, Cassius Ohno, issues a challenge to whomever on the NXT brand, the American brand, to have a fight with him. The person who picks it up is Matt Riddle. I was waiting for your reaction because you don't like it. There you go. And boom again, because Matt Riddle beat Cassius Ohno. Made that boy, slammed that boy. Yeah. Next up, we've been looking forward for this guy to make his return to NXT on USA Channel. It's Kushida, the wrestling superstar from Japan. Junior weight division ends up supposed to fight Raul Mendoza, and then he gets stopped on stage by Cameron Grimes, and it ends up fighting him in the match, and Kushida won the match. Yeah. Next up, we have the match between Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly versus Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, and their it's no tough choice, Dominik Dozovic, a man they went to war with against the Undisputed Era. He tags team with them, and Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Dominik Dozovic make a one hell of a fantastic match, putting down the Undisputed Era. But to crash the party after the match is none other than Finn Balor. He takes down both Adam Cole and Tommaso Ciampa in the ring to showcase that he has no allegiance to anybody. And Keith Lee, like a fucking shark, sticks his head at the corner where Keith Lee's about to jump somebody, I think Tommaso Ciampa, and he just whoops his ass, hits him with the spirit bomb, and stakes his claim to being top guy. Reem Regal then comes out, thanks to my bro mentioning it to me. I got to see it after he mentioned it, how I thought about it, and I was like, let's go. I don't care. These three guys are top fighters. Let's go. In which case, Reem Regal makes the decision that in 2 weeks, Adam Cole will defend his title alongside Shayna Baszler. But to whom he will fight will be next week when Finn Balor goes up against Tommaso Ciampa and Keith Lee in a triple threat to determine the number one contender to fight Adam Cole.
No, Finn Balor's not Keith Lee, bro.
No, Finn Balor, Tommaso Ciampa, and Keith Lee. I watched it. All three. All three.
You didn't say Finn Balor.
What I did?
I don't think you did.
I did. Believe me, I started it with Finn because that was the first name he mentioned.
Okay.
And he was all happy. And then you see Tommaso Ciampa. He's like, and you heard, and what? Keith Lee. Look at that face. He was like, he was not happy. And in the ring, we would have Tommaso Ciampa looking at Keith Lee, a man he went to war with, a man he called his comrade in arms. And now he has to go toe-to-toe with him alongside Finn Balor, the Prince.
It's going to be tough for Tommaso.
Yeah. Oh, no. If Goldie's on the line, he don't care who's in his way. He's going to go run through him. But Keith Lee, don't do what Seth Rollins did and underestimate him, because he might pin you and get the job done. And of course, we can't forget Finn Balor, the man who has an ambition to become NXT champion once again. And we're almost done. So that would be it for our show. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Hit the subscribe and like the content. Hit that notification bell for the next Heaven's Monsters podcast. Anything you want to take?
Honestly, I don't care who win out of Tommaso.
Me neither.
Or Finn Balor. Or Adam Cole.
You say Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Finn Balor.
Okay. I'm bad.
It's okay. I almost made that mistake too.
Yeah. I also don't care who had Tommaso or Finn Balor. I like both of them. Keith Lee's okay, but I like Finn Balor and Tommaso.
Keith Lee! Yeah. I'm SergDragon. This is T-Money. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
Bye.